Unleashing your hidden superpowers, the transformative journey of self-discovery. Welcome, fellow seekers of purpose and meaning. Today, we're embarking on an extraordinary adventure that promises to challenge your perspective, ignite your soul, and quite possibly change the course of your life. I'm thrilled to share with you the profound insights I've gained from my recent conversation with the remarkable JoAnne Boykin Thurston, a visionary, a messenger, and a beacon of hope for those struggling to find their place in this chaotic world. JoAnne's journey is nothing short of inspirational. As a single mother, aspiring author, and tireless advocate for personal growth, she's dedicated her life to helping others uncover their hidden gifts and embrace their true potential. Her wisdom has touched countless lives, sparking a ripple effect of positive change that continues to spread far and wide. Now, let's dive into the heart of our discussion. Have you ever felt like you're sleepwalking through life, your true potential lying dormant within you? What if I told you that the key to unlocking your greatest gifts and achieving soul-deep satisfaction was closer than you think? Buckle up, because we're about to challenge some deeply ingrained beliefs and explore a paradigm shift that could revolutionize the way you see yourself and your place in the world. Let's start with a provocative question. What if the very thing holding you back is actually the key to your breakthrough? It's a paradox that JoAnne understands all too well, and it's at the core of her transformative philosophy. Picture this. You're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the comfortable, the known, the expected. It's well lit, clearly marked, and everyone around you is nudging you in that direction. The other path, it's shrouded in mist, uncertain but pulsing with potential. It whispers of adventure, of untapped possibilities, of a life lived in full color rather than shades of gray. Which do you choose? For many of us, the answer seems obvious. We've been conditioned to seek safety, to minimize risk, to color within the lines. But what if that seemingly safe choice is actually the riskiest of all? What if, by always choosing the well-trodden path, we're denying ourselves the very experiences that could lead to our greatest growth and fulfillment? Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's all well and good, but I've got bills to pay. I don't have time for soul searching. Trust me, I get it. Life has a way of throwing curveballs that can knock us off our feet. But what if those very challenges are the universe's way of nudging us towards our true calling? Let me share a story that JoAnne told me, one that perfectly illustrates this point. She spoke of a woman named Sarah, a talented artist who had always dreamed of making a living from her art. But life had other plans. She found herself a single mother, working a soul-crushing corporate job to make ends meet. Her paints gathered dust in the corner of her tiny apartment, her dreams fading a little more each day. One particularly stressful day at work, Sarah found herself doodling in the margins of her meeting notes. A colleague noticed and commented on how beautiful her little sketches were. That tiny moment of recognition sparked something in Sarah. She started bringing her sketchbook to work, using her lunch breaks to draw. Soon, she was sharing her art on social media, and to her surprise, people started asking if they could buy her work. What began as a coping mechanism for stress became a side hustle, and eventually, Sarah was able to leave her corporate job to pursue her art full time. The very stress and limitations that she thought were holding her back became the catalyst for her transformation. This story beautifully illustrates a truth that JoAnne has discovered through her own journey and through guiding countless others. Our gifts aren't hiding in some far-off land waiting to be discovered. They're right here, woven into the fabric of our everyday experiences. They're in the way we instinctively comfort a friend, in the creative solutions we find to work problems, in the passion that lights us up when we talk about certain topics. But here's the kicker. Recognizing your gifts is just the first step. The real magic happens when you start using them to bless others. It's like a cosmic boomerang. The more you give, the more comes back to you. And not just in material ways, but in that deep, soul-satisfying way that makes you feel truly alive. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. That's a nice story, but my life is different. I don't have any special talents. Let me challenge that belief for a moment. What if the very things you take for granted about yourself are actually your superpowers in disguise? JoAnne shared another powerful story that illustrates this point beautifully. She told me about a man named Michael who had always considered himself just average. He worked a steady job, paid his bills on time, and generally flew under the radar. But Michael had one quirk that his friends always teased him about. He was obsessed with organization. His home was immaculate. His files were color coded, and he could find any piece of information at a moment's notice. Michael never saw this as anything special. To him, it was just the way he was wired. But one day, a crisis hit his workplace. Important documents had been misplaced, deadlines were being missed, and chaos reigned. Without even thinking about it, Michael stepped in. He created new filing systems, streamlined processes, and within weeks had transformed the office into a model of efficiency. His colleagues were amazed. His bosses were impressed. And Michael, he was shocked to realize that what he had always seen as a quirk was actually a valuable skill. This realization led him to start his own organizing consultancy, helping businesses and individuals bring order to their chaos. He found a level of fulfillment and success he had never dreamed possible, all by embracing a part of himself he had always taken for granted. This story highlights a crucial truth. Your gifts aren't always grandiose or obvious. They're often the quiet, steady strengths that you've had for so long, you don't even notice them anymore. But when you learn to recognize and cultivate these gifts, you unlock a world of possibility. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's all well and good, but how do I pay the bills with soul satisfaction? It's a fair question, and it brings us to another key insight from JoAnne's philosophy. What if pursuing your gifts could lead you to opportunities you never even imagined? What if, by aligning your life with your true strengths and passions, you could create a level of success and fulfillment that far surpasses what you thought possible? JoAnne shared a powerful example of this principle in action. She told me about a woman named Elena, a brilliant computer programmer who had always felt a nagging sense of dissatisfaction in her work. Elena was good at her job, but it didn't light her up. What did excite her, though, was teaching. She loved explaining complex concepts in simple terms and seeing the light of understanding dawn in someone's eyes. For years, Elena ignored this passion, believing it was impractical. But one day, frustrated with a particularly difficult piece of code, she decided to create a simple video explaining the concept for her team. To her surprise, the video was a hit. Her colleagues started asking for more, and soon she was creating tutorials in her spare time. As her videos gained traction online, Elena started to see a possibility she had never considered before. She began creating more comprehensive coding courses, leveraging her gift for teaching to make complex programming concepts accessible to beginners. Within a year, her online courses were generating more income than her day job, allowing her to transition into full-time teaching. Elena's story is a powerful reminder that our gifts aren't just hobbies or side hustles. They're the very essence of who we are, the unique flavor we bring to the world. And when we start aligning our lives with those gifts, remarkable things happen. But let's get real for a moment. This journey isn't always sunshine and rainbows. JoAnne will be the first to tell you that there were moments of doubt, times when the weight of responsibility felt crushing. But it was in those darkest moments that she discovered an incredible truth. Your gifts can be your lifeline. Imagine you're in the midst of a storm, waves crashing all around you. In that moment, your gifts become your anchor, keeping you steady when everything else is chaos. JoAnne learned to tap into her innate strengths during her toughest times, using them as a compass to navigate through the turbulence. This is where the rubber meets the road, folks. It's easy to talk about following your passion when everything's going smoothly. But how do you hold on to that thread of purpose when life throws you a curveball? JoAnne's secret weapon, perspective. She learned to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth. Each obstacle became a chance to flex her gift muscles, to find creative solutions, to connect with others who were facing similar struggles. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're facing a seemingly insurmountable problem. Your first instinct might be to curl up in a ball and hide. But what if instead you asked yourself, how can my unique gifts help me navigate this situation? Suddenly, you're not a victim of circumstance, but a problem solver, a creator, a force of nature. This shift in perspective is game changing. It's the difference between feeling beaten down by life and feeling energized by its challenges. And the best part, the more you practice this mindset, the stronger it becomes. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I don't know what my gifts are. Don't worry, you're not alone. Many of us go through life without ever fully recognizing our unique talents. But here's the thing. Your gifts are like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger and more apparent they become. JoAnne's advice: start small, pay attention to the moments in your day when you feel most alive, most in flow. What are you doing in those moments? Who are you being? These are clues to your innate gifts. And here's a pro tip: ask the people closest to you what they think your gifts are. Often others can see our strengths more clearly than we can ourselves. You might be surprised by what you discover, but discovering your gifts is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you start intentionally using them to make a difference in the world around you. This is where JoAnne's mantra of soul satisfaction comes into play. Imagine waking up every morning with a sense of purpose, knowing that you're not just going through the motions, but actively using your unique talents to make the world a little bit better. That's soul satisfaction. And let me tell you, it's addictive in the best possible way. Now, I can hear some of you skeptics out there. That sounds great, but I have bills to pay. I can't just quit my job to follow my bliss. And you're right. JoAnne isn't advocating for reckless abandonment of your responsibilities. Instead, she's suggesting a subtle but powerful shift in how you approach your daily life. What if, instead of compartmentalizing your gifts, relegating them to hobbies or someday dreams, you started weaving them into the fabric of your everyday existence? What if you brought your gift for storytelling into your corporate presentations, or used your natural empathy to transform your customer service interactions? This integration of your gifts into your daily life is where the real transformation begins. It's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about small, consistent actions that align your external world with your internal gifts. JoAnne's journey is a testament to this approach. As a single mother, she couldn't just drop everything to pursue her dreams of writing, but she found ways to incorporate her storytelling gift into her parenting, her work, her community involvement. And bit by bit, those small acts of alignment started to create big shifts in her life. But here's the thing. This journey isn't always easy. There will be times when you doubt yourself, when the weight of responsibility feels overwhelming. In those moments, JoAnne encourages us to remember this. Your gifts aren't just for you. They're meant to be shared with the world. Think about it. How many times has someone else's kindness, creativity, or insight made a difference in your life? That's the power of gifts in action. And you have that same power within you. This perspective shift from seeing your gifts as a personal indulgence to recognizing them as a responsibility to the world can be incredibly motivating. It takes the focus off our own insecurities and places it on the impact we can have on others. JoAnne's story reminds us that we all have the ability to be lighthouses, beacons of hope and inspiration for others who are struggling to find their way. But to be that lighthouse, we first need to switch on our own light. And that light, it's our gifts, shining brightly for all to see. So how do we start this journey of self-discovery and world changing? JoAnne suggests beginning with gratitude. Take a moment each day to appreciate your unique qualities. Celebrate the small ways you make a difference. This practice of self-appreciation creates a positive feedback loop, encouraging you to lean into your gifts more and more. Next, look for opportunities to use your gifts in your everyday life. If you're a natural problem solver, challenge yourself to find creative solutions at work. If you have a gift for encouragement, make it a point to lift someone up each day. These small acts of alignment add up over time, creating a life that feels more authentic and fulfilling. But perhaps the most important step is to be patient with yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a life aligned with your true gifts. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, times when it feels easier to fall back into old patterns. In those moments, JoAnne reminds us to be gentle with ourselves, to remember that this is a journey, not a destination. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge, a call to action that I hope will resonate in your hearts and minds long after you've left this room. For the next week, I want you to commit to one small act each day that allows you to express your gifts. It doesn't have to be grand or life-changing. Maybe it's writing a paragraph of that book you've always wanted to write. Maybe it's using your gift of humor to brighten a coworker's day. Whatever it is, do it intentionally and notice how it makes you feel. But don't stop there. I want you to take it a step further. Once you've identified your gifts, I challenge you to find a way to use them in service of others. Volunteer at a local charity that aligns with your skills. Offer to mentor someone who could benefit from your expertise. Start a blog sharing your unique insights on a topic you're passionate about. Remember, your gifts are not just for you, they're your unique contribution to the world. By embracing and expressing them, you're not just changing your own life, you're creating ripples of positive change that extend far beyond you. Imagine a world where everyone was living in alignment with their true gifts, a world where people woke up excited to contribute their unique talents, where workplaces were filled with engaged, passionate individuals, where communities thrived on the diverse strengths of their members. That world is possible, and it starts with each of us making the choice to uncover and share our gifts. So I ask you, what gift will you share with the world today? What step will you take towards living a life of purpose and soul deep satisfaction? The answer to those questions could be the first step on an incredible journey of self discovery and world changing impact. As you leave here today, I want you to carry with you the wisdom of JoAnne Boykin Thurston. Remember that your gifts are waiting to be unleashed. The world is waiting for what only you can give. Your challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth. Your quirks are not flaws, but potential superpowers. It's time to stop sleepwalking through life and wake up to the incredible potential within you. It's time to stop playing small and step into the fullness of who you were meant to be. It's time to unleash your hidden superpowers and use them to create a life of meaning, purpose, and profound satisfaction. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today. Embrace your gifts, share them with the world, and watch as your life and the lives of those around you transform in ways you never thought possible. Thank you.